Or if the bomb that drops on you gets your friends and neighbors too, there'll be nobody left behind to grieve, and we will all go together when we go. What a comforting fact that is to know.
Hello and thank you for watching the John Doe Prepper channel. I am your gracious host, John A. Whitman, all you beautiful ladies and germs, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about this thing up on my noggin right now. This is my current sort of, I guess you could say, budget ballistic helmet setup. So I'm going to briefly go over all the things that I did to turn this old relic of the 80s into something at least kind of feasible in a modern combat environment. And then we're going to talk about the advantages and disadvantages of getting your start in ballistic helmet ownership this way. So let's get this thing off of my ugly mug and onto the table so that we can talk about it in more detail. Alright, so here is the helmet off of my nasty looking melon. So before I get into showing you all the things I did to this, I would like to show you kind of what it was like before I made all these upgrades. I was gonna just show you the actual liner and all the other crap that I had taken out of this helmet, but I was not able to actually find those. So what I found instead is this old Swedish Army steel helmet that I once found up in the rafters of my garage. God knows where it actually came from, but it has pretty much the exact same liner system. Literally looks almost exactly the same and everything. So this will be a good stand-in for that, and it will also help me actually drive my point home as to just how old and dated and obsolete this old system was. So the helmet, this helmet here, started out life as a PASGT helmet that I was given as a 10th birthday gift, which was very lovely. Thank you, cool cousin in the National Guard, for getting that for me. When I first got it, it had a broken chin strap, and kind of like this, it had sweat stains on the leather and all that crap. But I found a janky way to kind of fix the old chin strap for a while until I realized the shortcomings of that particular design and decided to make these upgrades. So back to this for a moment. This liner system is pretty much the same system that has been used in military helmets since pretty much World War I. The only thing that's changed from like World War I to like the late Cold War has been the materials used to make liners such as this. But the basic concept is the same. You have a sweatband, which can usually be adjusted in some way to match the actual circumference of the wearer's head, and you have some sort of webbing system above that so that your head isn't just resting against bare cold steel, which would kind of suck. And you usually have some sort of 2-point chin strap, such as this one, that just goes under your chin. The only real difference between this one and the old one on the helmet was that the one on that helmet had a little extra bit of material in the center to cradle your chin, instead of just being a straight strap like this that just goes completely under your jaw. But other than that, it's basically the exact same liner system. And the main disadvantage with this is, well, number one, it's just not all that comfortable compared to more modern helmet setups. But beyond that, it also does absolutely nothing whatsoever to actually protect you from blunt force trauma. And so a lot of servicemen, especially in the global war on terror, were suffering horrific TBIs despite the fact that they were actually wearing a helmet at the time of their injury. Because, once again, this liner system does nothing to actually protect you from smashing your head into a rock after an IED launches you 50 feet into the air out of your Humvee. Now, with this old relic out of the way... Ah, no, stay where I put you. Go over there. Stay. Okay, back to this. So, this, again, started out life as a PASGT helmet. I'm going to get rid of this pair of goggles because they're going to get in my way and they're going to obscure things I want to show you. So this had the same liner system as that over there, but now it has this. a U.S. Army surplus ACH chin strap, and some cheap fast helmet pads that come with their little Velcro stickers included in the set. The chin strap was only like $8, and it even came still sealed in its original plastic, so it was literally brand spanking new, never used, never issued. And the pads, brand new, never issued, were like $10, which was very nice, which plays into one of the main advantages of this helmet setup that I'll talk about later. But with this setup, going from a 2-point head harness to a 4-point head harness with a lovely padded H-nape, and going from a suspension system to actual padding, you've basically now turned this into a Kevlar football helmet. So it will actually protect your melon from getting all jostled around and messing up with all the squishy bits inside, which is, of course, a very good thing. Beyond that, the other upgrades I made to this helmet were that I gave it a lovely spray coat of Rust-Oleum Camouflage Deep Forest Green. I absolutely adore this specific color because this was all, scuffed up and just kind of grody looking, so I cleaned it off and painted it. Then I added these little bits of loop material, filled in the no longer needed holes in the Kevlar with steel reinforced epoxy before I painted it. So these two here for the chin strap and this one in the back here. Then I painted it, and then I used these bits of Velcro material to cover up those epoxied over holes. But this one in the rear actually does serve a practical purpose as well, and that is that this serves as a mounting point for a counterweight pouch for when I eventually have night vision to mount to this helmet. And speaking of night vision, that is the final upgrade that I have made to this helmet. I used the nut and bolt going through the hole in the front of the helmet here to mount a Neurodos mount. This particular one I paid a little bit extra for because, as you can see, it is painted foliage green. I did that so it would match my chin strap and my goggles, because why not? But you can get these in their original black paint job for as low as $15. So it is a very, very economical way of adding that capability to your old PASGT helmet. But those are basically all the upgrades I made. You can see I used the nuts and bolts on the sides here. These nuts and bolts used to hold in the old liner system. These ones happen to be in just the perfect places to mount that new 4-point head harness, so I don't need to drill any new holes into the Kevlar, which, if you're going to be making upgrades or modifications to ballistic helmets, you should absolutely 100% avoid cutting anything or drilling anything into the Kevlar like the plague, because you could compromise the ballistic integrity of the helmet shell by doing so. But with that being said, I believe that's all I have to say about the actual upgrades I made to this helmet. So now we'll get into the pros and cons of doing this, starting with the pros. The pros are, first off, if you actually go out and buy a PASGT helmet, and sometimes you can even find them already having been upgraded with a 4-point chin strap and pads for pretty much no money extra. But whether you get these in their original format or already partially upgraded for you, these helmets are by far the cheapest ballistic helmets you can get on the market right now that are actual real ballistic helmets that you can actually trust your life to, and not just some cheap Chinese bullcrap that probably can't even stop a 9mm. Beyond that, as I kind of briefly mentioned earlier, these upgrades, if you buy one of these with its original liner system still installed, the upgrades are very, very cheap, or at least the most important ones are. Those being the pads and the new chin strap. Again, the pads were like $10-11 after tax, and this was like, this chin strap was like $8, probably more like $9 after tax. And so even after making those two upgrades so that this helmet will actually properly do its job and protect your noggin and not give you a horrible concussion if you, God forbid, catch a round in your helmet at some point, Even after making those upgrades, the price point of this setup is still way less than even other comparable Kevlar surplus helmets. Now, that being said, it may be worth actually at some point just buying a more modern surplus helmet, which is now when we're going to get into the cons of this setup. So just to briefly reiterate, the pros are it's the cheapest option you can get, and it's actually real. It's a real ballistic helmet that's not going to kill you. Those are the pros. The cons are, number one, this helmet is very much a product of the era in which it was designed, which was the late 70s and early 80s. So this was designed during a time when steel helmets, like that guy over there, were the norm. And so they did not see a problem back then with a Kevlar helmet with nothing else added to it being almost 3 pounds in a small and over 3 pounds in a medium, which this is a medium. I've weighed this one on my bathroom scale. With all these upgrades, it's sitting at right about 3.5 pounds. This is by far the heaviest Kevlar helmet ever fielded by the US military. And that is a problem because it is going to take its toll on your neck if you wear this thing for extended periods of time. It is going to suck. It is going to suck majorly. Beyond that, once again, talking about the sort of obsolete design of this helmet was designed back before the advent of modern over-the-ear active ear protection. And so if you're using a helmet that is actually properly sized to your head, even after making these upgrades to get the liner and the chin strap and crap out of the way of these ear covers, you may not be able to fit a modern Ear Pro headset under this. I know, personally, I cannot fit my Walker razors under this. So at some point when I eventually upgrade to Comtacs or Sordins, I will have to see if those will fit under this. If they don't, then the other solution for having Ear Pro and comms under a PASGT like this is to do it the way it was basically designed to, which is you put earplugs in, and then for comms, you wear a Bowman headset, or nowadays the Chinese are selling Bowman headset clones for like $10 a piece. So you wear earplugs, you throw on a Bowman headset, you throw on the helmet, and then you turn up the volume on your radio so that you can hear the headset squawking at you through your earplugs. Now, of course, that is very suboptimal in a modern context, but it is way, way better than just having no Ear Pro at all and getting lifelong tinnitus. Trust me, it sucks. I already have it in my right ear, and it is awful. Fortunately, it is not to the level where it's affecting my ability to sleep or anything, thank God, but it still sucks. So don't shoot guns without Ear Pro. Ask me how I know. But those are the basic cons with this, is the weight and some compatibility issues with more modern equipment. But in my personal opinion, especially since in my case I got the most expensive part of this, which is the helmet itself, literally for free, and I don't currently have the money to be spending on something as relatively low priority as a whole new ballistic helmet. In my opinion, the pros of this setup for me, and likely for you if you are in as tight of a monetary bind as I am with prepping, probably are going to outweigh the cons. But with that all being said, I think that's all I got to say about that. So I hope you all enjoyed this little autistic diatribe about my budget upgraded PASGT, or as I like to call it, my PASGT-M. And with that all done and dusted, thank you for watching this video and for subscribing to my channel if you're a subscriber, and I will catch you all next time on the John Doe Prepper channel. Peace!
We will all go together when we go, all suffused with an incandescent glow. No one will have the endurance to collect on his insurance. Lloyds of London will be loaded when they go.